Welcome back to a quick chat in the Cadillac. My name's SG and I like to explore the simplicity of complexity. So if you don't know, this is my show. And let me break this down for you real quick. Lordy Lord, I got a heater for you this morning. Because today we're talking about the gift. The spiritual gift or the spiritual investment, depending on how you treat it and how you see it. For those of you out here who believe that Harry Potter is the only thing close to real magic in this world, this may not be the one for you. But we ain't talking about Harry Potter today. Today, we're talking about spiritual gifts. Okay, what's the difference between a spiritual gift and a spiritual curse? Now, there's many people, more than we would like to believe, on this planet, in this plane of existence at this very moment right now, who are spiritually gifted in one way or another. Whether they can see things other people don't see, hear things other people can't hear, read minds, or fast forward in time, it's people out here with some gifts, telekinesis and shit. And I'm in a good mood today, but don't get me wrong, this message is just as important as any other message I put out, so bear with me. See, because people who are blessed or empowered with these simple gifts that allow them to do, see, hear, know things that other people typically wouldn't otherwise know, see, do, or hear. Or smell, even. You have two options on how to use the gift. Okay, you can either manipulate or fulfill your purpose. I want you to imagine a spiritual gift like a manual Lamborghini. One of them ones with like 20 gears. If you don't know how to drive the Lamborghini, it don't matter how nice it is. It's either going to sit in the garage all day or you're going to crash that motherfucker. And here's the thing, it's your responsibility to learn how to use it. Okay, you will get assistance along the way and guidance, but it's going to be very light-handed, right? It's just a little, it's not even a shove in the right direction, it'd be a little, like you're trying to blow out a candle. That's the guidance you're going to get. Or at least that's what you should count on, so you understand what it takes to actually have a spiritual gift. Okay, because you either turn it from a spiritual gift into a spiritual investment. It was given to you. Now you could use this Lamborghini to, rent it out. And instead of having a depreciating asset, you have an asset that generates you thousands of dollars of income per month, or tens of thousands, or, something like that. Or it turns into a curse and you devalue it as time goes on. AKA you crash the whip. You see where I'm going with this, right? So when you are given a spiritual gift, you need to understand the responsibility that comes with that. You're given that gift to fulfill a purpose. I'm not here to speak on what your purpose is. Your purpose may be to squander the gift, or maybe that's what you believe. I personally don't believe that would ever be your purpose, but again, that's not my decision to make, I guess. Intentionally, though, you were given this gift. Whether you can see things, smell things, hear things, know things before other people typically would be able to or would ever be able to. It's important for you to figure out, how can I use this gift to fulfill my purpose? And a lot of times that means, how do I use my gift to serve? Provide service to those around me, to those who are in need of my service. Here's how you can tell if someone is spiritually gifted and squandering. If this person is using their gifts to manipulate, steal, kill, and destroy, all those cliches, but if they're using them for negative purposes, oftentimes they run into a wall. All right, if you crash the whip, you can't drive the whip. Are you catching on? In fact, when you go to people who practice dark magic, a lot of the time, unless they're doing so out of some sort of birthright, I guess, that they may have, or culture that they may participate in, it really don't work all that well. You have to be careful. You have to be careful trusting people with spiritual gifts, because you never know what their intent is for it. Now, I'm not saying don't trust them. Obviously, there's plenty of people out here with spiritual gifts who are only here to serve, fulfill their purpose and have a human experience. There's also plenty of people out here who are just trying to make some moolah off of their spiritual gifts at the cost of everybody else. And you trusting them would be to your detriment. All right, if you personally have a spiritual gift and your intention is to crash it, I'm sorry to say, but you are one dumb motherfucker. Maybe that's a little harsh to say, but I think let's look at this logically, right? You're given this 20-speed Lamborghini, and your first instinct is not to learn how to drive it, it's to crash it on purpose, to prove that you can drive it without knowing how to drive it. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. That's why I don't think you're a very intelligent individual. In fact, once that spiritual gift is revoked, these people will often cloak themselves and put on a mask that states, oh yes, I still have my spiritual gift, to continue profiting off the manipulation of others. Okay, so watch out for all them, love spell peoples, or watch out for all them peoples who will, oh yeah, I could do a spell that will make your boss not be able to make money anymore. I don't know. Here's the thing, those people don't actually have any control over anyone else, especially if they've been doing that for a long time. The only person they can have control over is the poor saps they convince that they have control over anyone. I hope that makes sense, but essentially what I'm saying is they're giving you the okie doke. They're taking your money, running with it, and leaving you to the wolves and all the bad karma, because you're already participating in this, openly and consenting to the fact that it's of a darker nature, of a negative nature. So now let's talk about spiritual investment. What that means. When you are blessed with a spiritual gift, even though as a child you're often going to be more in touch with it than certain points later on in your life, at some point that spiritual gift is going to be targeted by people who feel as though it's a threat, right? It's the nature of power. Power creates intimidation. Intimidation creates insecurity. Insecurity creates action to remove the power. So using your spiritual gift is going to, of course, as usual, come with a cost. But the cost is strengthening, right? If you were blessed, you're born, and everyone in the world knows this person has the birth capability to be the strongest kung fu fighter of all time. How many people are going to challenge you at kung fu? Probably everyone who wants to be good at kung fu. I know it's a really dumb way of explaining it, but I mean, it makes it simple to me. So when you talk about a spiritual investment, you need to make sure you put in the time. When you put in the time, you'll start to see what your purpose is. It'll carve out that path for you. You have to foster it. You have to protect it. You have to maintain it. All that comes through practice, opportunity to use it and use it responsibly. Okay, you can't go out and drive that 20-speed manual perfectly the first time you drive it. You're going to have to practice. Maybe you end up buying like a beater or using a lower level vehicle in order to understand how to drive manual first. Then you work your way up to the 20-speed gearbox Lamborghini. You still have the Lamborghini, but if you take it out right now, you might crash it. And if you crash it, you're going to lose it. So what's the purpose of trying to lose it right away? That's why it's an investment. It works in the same sense as an investment does. You have to keep pouring into an investment in order for you to get a good outcome from the investment, especially if you want a good outcome consistently. If you invest something, turn around the next month, and pull the investment out, do you think you're going to maximize the amount of money that you made? Obviously not. So, use your spiritual gifts as an investment. Don't allow them to become a curse because you're, obsessed with immediate gratification and immediate validation. Then you're just ruining your Lamborghini. And I don't want that for you. Why would I want that for you? What I want for you is to be able to take your spiritual gifts, turn them into not only spiritual power, but the example for what others with those same gifts should, could, and will be able to do with their own. Peace.